I come from Narivamudu, a small village in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. My father is Jayakumar M and he is a daily wage labourer. My mother is Shrija Kumari K. My mother had few jewellery which we pawned for getting money, and she was there in Kudumbasri, Janasri, which are a few self-help groups in Kerala. These all were factors which helped financing my education. So financial difficulties were part and parcel of my life, but that never stopped me or my family. Even in civil services preparation, when sometimes you tell people, they will tell you, can you dream this big? I consider myself as a very privileged person because my parents prioritized education even amidst financial difficulties. When I told them that I want to go to Madras Christian College, Chennai, to pursue my higher education, they were said, all right, you do what you want to do. Don't listen to the noise around you. Have your own vision. And if you are not having any vision, make one. You can take help from every other side, every other person whom you trust. It's all right. But have a vision for you and pursue it. In my opinion, one way to beat the uncertainty or beat the luck factor in this examination, which is giving our absolute best.
Confused where to start? UPSC. One decision can change everything.
Like to thank Vajiram and Ravi.
The Vajiram current affairs test series.
Vajiram का भी काफी help.
Vajiram is the best.
But Vajiram, it is something holistic.
It helped me in boosting my confidence.
Structured learning expert. Mentorship in latest results, top 10 out of 10 from Vajiram. Legacy of AIR 1. Trust. One name. Vajiram and Ravi.
Hello everyone, I am Shrija JS. I have secured All India rank 57 in UPSC Civil Services Examination 2025 in my very first attempt. So in this episode of Delhi Knowledge Track, I'll be sharing my story, how I cracked this exam and how I was able to do this in my very first attempt. So a bit about myself and my background. I come from Narivamudu, a small village in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, and my father is Jayakumar M and he is a daily wage labourer. My mother is Shrija Kumari K and she is a homemaker. She has a post-graduation in history. I have a brother, his name is Jyotish JS and he is studying BSc Physics in Chennai. I am a humanities or social science student and I love this subject, and that is one of the reasons why I picked humanities stream for my higher secondary. And after that I joined for bachelor's and master's in political science from Madras Christian College, Chennai. From 2019 to 2024 I was in Chennai, and in the last semester of PG I cracked UGC NET for assistant professor 2, but I didn't stay long there. Immediately after my post-graduation in May 2024, I came back to Thiruvananthapuram to pursue UPSC Civil Services preparation. I joined Fortune IAS Academy here in Thiruvananthapuram and did my entire coaching there. But for interviews, as everybody does, I went to different academies for getting mock interviews, one-to-ones, etc. To tell you about my story, I must start with how this dream of writing civil services came to me. It was back in 2012 when I was 11 years of age, studying in 7th standard here in Thiruvananthapuram. At that time, Haridavi Kumar ma'am cleared this exam with All India rank 1. It became big news. I was reading newspaper back in my school days as well, and I asked my mother what this exam is about and how one cracks it and what is a civil servant. My mother gave me a brief idea as to how this exam goes and what is a civil servant, and by that time I was so sure that science is not my interested area. I would like to prefer social sciences for my higher studies, and definitely I went along that way. Many people would come and tell me after 10th that why are you going for humanities? It is for students who are not good in studies. And what are you going to do after your higher secondary, after your degree? And I just told them that, it's my choice. I want to study social science. I want to study political science. I'm going to study it. I'm not going to listen to any of the opinions around me. And I never cared about what others thought. what others said about me. Even in civil services preparation, when sometimes you tell people, they will tell you, can you dream this big? What makes you dream this big? It's for people who study a lot, who are very good at memorizing stuff. I sometimes also heard all this stuff, but at the end of the day, I just shoot them away, because I knew what I want to do with my life, what my choices were, what my strengths were, weaknesses were, and I just followed my choice. And at the end of the day, I am here. So my first advice to you is, don't listen to the noise around you. Have your own vision, and if you are not having any vision, make one. You can take help from every other person whom you trust. It's all right, but have a vision for you and pursue it. What others think about you, what others tell you, doesn't matter. If there is any good suggestions, you can always take it. Otherwise, just chuck them out. It's not worth it to waste your time on all those unnecessary thoughts. That's what I had done throughout my educational area. Right. So financial difficulties were part and parcel of my life, but that never stopped me or my family. My parents always provided us with good education, and I consider myself as a very privileged person, because my parents prioritized education even amidst financial difficulties. When I told them that I want to go to Madras Christian College, Chennai, to pursue my higher education, they were said, all right, you do what you want to do. We are not going to stop you. We won't let anybody stop you, anything stop you. So I just went ahead with my studies. My mother had few jewelry which we bought for getting money, and she was there in Kudumbasri, Janasri, which are a few self-help groups in Kerala, and these all were factors which helped financing my education, and it proved to be very useful also, because I didn't have to face any financial difficulties while I was studying in college or even in UPSC preparation. As you all might know, it is bit costly to go for coaching and taking test series, but my parents just said one thing to me, that if you want to pursue this examination, if you want to prepare for it, you just prepare for it. We will take care of the financial part. You just have to study, and we are sure that you will do it. And at the end of the day, I just did it, because I was very grateful for that privilege, that my parents were ready to help me out. And seeing from my childhood the way my father and mother tried to ends meet has always instilled me in this passion and fire to do my absolute best. And as you all know, UPSC is a very uncertain journey. You can't say for even 50% that you will clear this examination. Everything depends upon a lot of things, and even luck is a factor in this examination. So it didn't bother my parents whenever I was telling them that I don't know what will happen in the future. I don't know whether I'll clear this examination. I'm doing my best, but any day anything can go wrong, right? So I was telling this to my parents, and my parents were like, you don't have to worry about anything. You do your best and results will follow. My mentors and my parents always say this thing: honest works always pays off. And at the end of the day, I think it did, because there were limitations to the ways in which I have prepared, but at the end of the day, I think I was able to do simple things like studying, revising, taking suggestions from my mentors, and implementing them in my preparation, and practicing as much as I can, and having a very cool mindset in the exam hall. All things paid off, and at the end of the day, I was able to crack this examination. So there is, in my opinion, one way to beat the uncertainty or beat the luck factor in this examination, which is giving our absolute best, taking good use of all the good opportunities you have, and making best use of time. Time is of essence, and it is the most important asset anybody has. So if you make good use of it and put in the right work that you can, results will follow. If not in the first attempt, at least in the next 2 or 3 attempts, it will definitely follow. And many toppers are example for that, not just me. And Coming back to the family and the background that I had lived in, with the great support system my family has provided and the academy has provided, it always motivated me. We all are humans. There are moments where when we are very active, very energetic to study, but sometimes we are very lazy to study, very distracted, very sleepy, not able to get up from the bed and write answers, practice MCQs, write exams. All this happen. But at the end of the day, what matters is whether you are willing to get up from that laziness and work and study. I can say a lot of examples because I'm not a person who dedicate this much hours to prepare. I didn't have any 10 hour, 15 hours, 16 hours schedule or anything. And if some people are telling you that you have to study 16 to 18 hours, they are lying. Of course, nobody can put in that much hours 7 days a week. Some people might go for 16 to 18 hours some days a week, not 7 days a week. It's impossible, right? So don't worry about hours. In my case, I was only bothered about whether I am finishing the particular targets that is set in a day. If it is taking 10 hours, I'll just give 10 hours. Sometimes we'll have mock tests in Sundays mostly. So I will ensure that before going to the test on Sunday, I am finishing the particular subject, the basic content that I had. That was my goal. That worked out in the long run. So, have your own way, analyze your strengths and weaknesses and work accordingly. Most importantly, your background, your circumstances, nothing really matters. If you have the will to study, you can study. You have that motivation. Don't let anything bother you. If financial difficulties are troubling you, you have internet with you. Lot of resources, plenty of them are available in the internet. You can make use of that. Many toppers have done it already. Listen to their stories, listen to how they have done it, and strategize your preparation accordingly. It's not necessary and it's not even mandatory that all of you have to go for coaching. If you want to take coaching and if your circumstances are allowing it, go for coaching. Don't let coaching bother you. If you can't do it, it's okay. You can always prepare by yourself. You have plenty of resources in front of you. YouTube videos, Telegram, all the resources are in front of you. You can just make use of it. And coming back to the difficult phases, let me tell you, I had 3 panic attacks between prelims and mains. Because I was overthinking too much. I was reading into the exam too much, meaning that essay paper was very troubling me, very, very difficult for me in the beginning. I just got 85 marks in the first essay test, primarily because I was going after the strategies in the market like PESTEL, all those things that you listen very frequently. I was not trusting my way of writing, and that cost me. But towards the second test, I was overthinking this a lot and I got panic attack. The next test I got 125 marks, primarily because I took the do or die mindset and I just thought, okay, I will trust my writing. I am a person who used to write and I can write creatively. I will just write. And I just trusted my instincts and I just came out with my arguments, and then I finished the paper right on time and I got 125 marks. In the actual mains also, that was what I had done. I practiced a lot. I implemented the suggestions that I got from my mentors, and at the end it worked out. So tension, stress, everything happens and it is part of UPSC preparation, and some amount of stress will always do good, that it will push you to work. But if it's bothering you too much, you have to take necessary actions to address it. Have a very cool, chill attitude towards this exam. As many people have already said, and I am now telling you that it's just an exam. There is a life beyond UPSC, and keep that part alive also. Don't let UPSC take up your whole life. It's just an exam at the end of the day. And failures are part of a life too. I was failing in CSAT test in the initial phase because maths was a bit troubling and sectional tests were a bit hard. But when comprehensive started, I was gaining my pace and I was perfecting my strategy. And in the end, it proved right. And CSAT, I was able to get 75 marks, and I was aiming for 75, and I got 75. So have a very chill attitude. But one thing really worked out for me in this whole preparation journey was not letting any circumstance or background bother me. My parents were ready to take up the financial part, and I was just studying, and I had a vision board in which I wrote Srija JS IFS, and I kept it in front of my table. And whenever I was feeling lazy, when I was feeling very demotivated, I just looked at that and I was dreaming what will happen after the results once I clear this examination. That kind of pushed me forward. And there were moments I was very lazy, I didn't study, but at the end of the day, did I do the work that is necessary to clear this examination? I think I did. That's why I think I cleared this examination. So have a vision for yourself and don't let anything bother you. And if you think you want to work and then prepare, do that. If you think you want to prepare from college, you can do that. But keep a balance and do what is required for this examination. When the results came out on March 6th, it was very I still remember it very vividly, the moment results came out and the circumstances before that. So my interview was on 21st of January, and from childhood I used to tell my parents that if I'm going to take a flight and go to Delhi for the first time, it would be to attend UPSC interview, and things did happen that way. And I went to Delhi on 19th, and on 21st it was my interview. And after that interview I was very happy and I was smiling because I had a very cordial and conversational board and I was able to speak well, and I was slightly confident that I might make it. And I came out and my father was standing there in front of the UPSC, and the first thing he said was that you will crack it, you are very happy now, which means that interview went well. And he was very sure that I'll crack it. My mother was sure of it. Even my mentors used to say that I will crack it, and I wanted to crack it and I was dreaming of it. But people and we humans have this tendency to always focus on our tensions, not what could happen. There is a disconnect between reality and what we think of ourselves. I also had that, and February I was very tensed, but I was doing all sorts of things. And let me tell you, I didn't study for prelims after my interview. I was waiting for results, and I even took all my books and put it in the upper part of my shelf, that I am not coming back to study. I was very confident, I don't know how. And in front of UPSC, while I was standing, I was again telling myself, I'm not coming back to UPSC as an aspirant anymore or a candidate anymore. I'm going to make it in this attempt. I was kind of having this confidence. I don't know where it came from, but I had it. And February went, and in March 2nd was my birthday, and I was waiting for the results to come out, and people were telling that results would come out, but it didn't. 3rd is gone, 4th gone, 5th gone, and on 6th in the morning I was kind of getting the intuition that results could come out today. So I was sitting in my room, and I was praying, and then I was reading something, and all this while there is this thought coming into my mind that results would come out today. And I was seeing some kind of red background with my name on it, and people telling Kerala topper Srija, Kerala topper Srija. I just thought, I have anyways daydreamed a lot, so it might be a dream or something. How can I become the Kerala topper? The one, I didn't prepare that much, I didn't write that much, I didn't do that much of a good job in preparing. So how can I become Kerala topper? That was my kind of thought. As 12 noon passed, people were telling in Telegram the results would come out today. 1 p.m. passed, and then 2 p.m. passed, and by 2:14 the results dropped. I think that was when I saw the results. I was talking to my mentors during that time, and I was asking them whether I would clear, and they were assuring me that I would definitely clear. But it takes time to believe it. you write all in the rank 1, all in the rank 15, everything on your wall, and you want it, but at the end of the day you are very tense whether you will make it. I was also like that, but then when the results dropped, I previously asked my mentor that if you see my name on the list, immediately call me, otherwise don't call me in the night. But when the results dropped, I immediately checked the result and I saw Srija JS beside 57. I got confused what this 57 meant, and I started scrolling down from 1 to 57, and I realized that it is the rank. So I was on the first floor of my room. I immediately called out. I screamed, Acha and Amma. Acha is the word we use for father in Malayalam. They got scared. They thought I fell down. That's why I was screaming. But then when they came in, I told them I got all in the rank 57 and I'm going to become Indian Foreign Service Officer. That was my dream from college. I just wanted to become that, and I was dreaming for it. And when it really happened, it was very surreal, and I lost it for a bit. My mentors and parents were calming me down, and then within 50 minutes media persons covered my house and lot of guests, and till now sometimes it does kind of feel surreal that this all happened in my very first attempt. I'm truly grateful to a lot of people, to my parents, my brother especially, because I am a very privileged person. I am a very privileged person because I had a very supporting family. My father and my mother, they always stood by me in my educational choices and everything else. I was always given the luxury of exercising my freedom, my choice, and I thank Almighty for them, because without the good ecosystem they have provided, I don't think I'll be here. So grateful for it. And a lot of people, lot of my mentors, I had 3 mentors. For prelims it was Mr. Anantu, and for mains and interview it was Mr. Achut G and Mr. Nidin Menon. They are from Fortune Academy. As I did my coaching in Fortune IS Academy, they have seen through my highs and lows, and always assured me that you put in the work, everything will follow, results will follow. And they had the confidence, just like my parents had the confidence in me, and always assured me that I'll be able to make it, and always given me good suggestions that I could follow and I could crack this in my very first attempt. And a lot of my friends who has stood by me, and whenever I called some of my friends to just talk, they would just pick up the phone and then just would talk to me. So at the end of the day, if I can tell you one thing, is that my financial difficulties didn't matter much, because I didn't let them matter much. I didn't let them define my life. I had a dream, and I just did what was required of me to make that dream become a reality. And at the end of the day, that dream got fulfilled. So if I have one advice to tell future aspirants, is that if you have a dream to clear this examination, give your absolute best to it. If you have decided to write this examination, you have got no choice but to give your 100% to it. Don't bother about the results. Results will follow. You must have an aim, but don't bother too much about the results, because results will follow if you put in the right work. At the end of the day, don't give up. You might feel like quitting every single hour of every single day. Everybody goes through the same drill. You are not alone in this process. Don't quit. Don't give up. If you want to follow through this dream, follow through it. Don't quit in between. Give your absolute best. And one more thing is that, tension and stress are part and parcel of life, as I have always mentioned before. Don't give in to them. Have your own ways to deal with it. Keep your hobbies and passion alive even while preparation. It's all right. I have done it. It worked out for me. So it will work out for you. At the end of the day, just remember that, you are writing this examination. Be yourself in this process. And if you are yourself while preparing, it will make the process worthwhile and enjoyable. Otherwise, it can become a horrible time for you. So be yourself, enjoy the process, and it will make you a good person, definitely. So to conclude, all the very best to all the future aspirants. So it has been a good opportunity for me to share my story also. And I want to emphasize one more thing also. There are many different opportunities besides UPSC. So don't make UPSC your entire life. As I have said before, keep yourself while preparing. At the end of the day, do your absolute best. The one advice that my mentors gave me was that detach from the results and do your honest work. My advice to you at the end is also this: do your work and detach from the results will follow. So thank you, Delhi Knowledge Track, for this opportunity. So thank you.